Hey there, how are you doing? This is gonna be hopefully a shorter video than I've been used to doing recently. I am very thankful to everybody that has been subscribing, that has been commenting. I wasn't expecting my comments or my reaction to the Johnny Harris video to be the way it has been. I am thankful for everybody that has commented, whether positively or negatively. That actually has helped in the algorithm, and YouTube is finally started to look at me. And I also want to invite everybody to continue watching the videos. All of my reactions, all the videos. I'm gonna have more tourism videos up. I am sorry that I haven't been able to. We're currently working on a rebrand, basically, of my company, of my main company's site and all this. And I've been working very hard with that, and on all a lot of transitions right now in my life. So I have only been able to do the reactions, which are easier to edit at the moment. So thank you for everybody who has left comments. I am trying to work on audio details, as you can see. Hopefully this video has better audio quality also. And yes, just a couple of reminders, housekeeping reminders. If you want to interact with me other than YouTube, I have Instagram, I have Threads, and I have X, aka Twitter, RIP. Everything is the same, at ERJUSINO, A, ERJ Jusino, Jusino A. It's gonna be hopefully somewhere down here. I'm gonna write it down quick, right down there. Anywho, you can give me a shout out in any of those social media platforms, and I will gladly interact with you. Anybody that comes insulting or with spam or with hate mail, you're just going to get blocked immediately. I am not in the mood to be dealing with that type of attacks on my personal social media. If you wanna hate or do you wanna do it, it's fine. You can do it in the comments down here. I'm not gonna be censoring anything other than death threats or whatnot, right? So if you just wanna insult me, that's fine. If you wanna do a call to action, then we have problems, and you will be censored. Anyways, let's talking about tourism. There's this YouTube profile that's big. It's almost up to 1 million subscribers right now, and it's called Wolters World. And I learned it through blogging through history. You haven't seen blogging through history? Check his channel out. He's really good. He's the guy. He basically inspired me to do this. And honestly, he's a pretty good dude, pretty chill. He's gotten into heat with several YouTubers who just don't like reactions, and that's fine. Not everybody likes this. So anyways, we're going to be reacting to Wolters World today, and hopefully soon we're also going to be reacting to another video from El Callito, whom I will have this week up in Spotify. So in my podcasting channel in Spotify, Historiando's main channel, which is Spotify, this week we have El Callito, and we're going to be talking about Miguel Enrique. I will be reacting to a video interview that he has here in YouTube, so that will be the next video. Today we're doing Wolters World, so why not? This guy is he's really fun. So let's see the don'ts of San Juan, Puerto Rico. Hold on, I'm gonna do this in full screen. Link to the creator's main video also will be in the description. So if you want to go watch the Wolters, want to go subscribe over to Wolters World, you are welcome to do it.
Wolters World, today we're in San Juan, Puerto Rico for the don'ts of visiting San Juan. And we know San Juan is very popular for tourists to come visit, whether on cruise ships or for a weekend away. And before I really get in depth of the don'ts, I really think we need to start with a really important don't for.
That just reminds me, oh, oh, rice and beans. Oh, that's so good. I had rice and beans today. This over here, oh, that's fried plantain. This is this pollo, or this is just baked chicken. This, yum.
San Juan, and that is, don't think visiting San Juan is going to be cheap. A lot of people think, oh, I'm going to the Caribbean, I'm going to Puerto Rico, it's going to be a cheap vacation. Look, I'm not saying it's expensive here in San Juan, but it is not a cheap place to visit. When you go out to eat, I mean, this is a large city on an island.
So I'm gonna give you my experience, since I am a San Juan local, and El Viejo San Juan is basically in my backyard. So if a dinner for two in Old San Juan, in basically the touristy areas of San Juan, you could probably get it for $80, $90, depending. If you go somewhere not touristy, let's say somewhere like Bayamón, somewhere like Guaynabo, somewhere like Cupé, even some areas of Rio Piedras, or even Carolina, and these are all, San Juan metro area municipalities. You will probably get cheaper. It'll be cheaper dinners. You can probably get it for, again, for two. It's like $50 or $40. It everything depends on the area that you go to. But yeah, if you go to Old San Juan, you will be paying tourist level money. And also in different areas of Puerto Rico, there are areas that are also very touristy that you will be paying more for your food. And that is absolutely correct.
That means you have large city prices, you have island city pricing, and so you have to take that into account. Now, I'm not saying it's like New York prices and San Juan prices are the same. No, I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying, think about a large city in the U.S. when you go out to eat and drink there, or you're going out to a large city to eat and drink in Europe. You're going to have comparable prices, so don't expect it to be a cheap visit when you come to San Juan.
I mean, I went to Madrid, and just trying to remember it. I was paying for dinner when we went out to eat with my cousins, and I actually paid. When I went to Sevilla, I paid around for a meal, a standard meal, 20 to 25 euros. So that's around $30 back in 2017. That's probably changed by now. So yeah, it's pretty much it's a pretty accurate description.
Now, don't expect it to be expensive, but it is something you need to think about, okay? Because I see a lot of things online that really preach the cheapness of this, and it's not.
Also, if you go out and you start buying drinks, that hikes up the price. So I don't usually drink, so that's probably why my prices are normal. But if you start drinking, back in January, I went out with a friend. We were celebrating her first paycheck. We went to Distrito T-Mobile, which is right nearby San Juan. It's a very touristy place. We went to a restaurant. I won't mention the name just because I don't want to give free publicity, but it is a really good restaurant in Distrito T-Mobile. She ended up paying for herself, her kid, a friend, and myself. We were two friends, her and her kid, around $500. But the reason why it was so expensive was because her friend, her female friend, and herself were drinking, and shots and rum and stuff. So that could hike up your price level if you're thinking about drinking, right? If you're going out to drink, that really hikes up the price. Alcohol can be a bit expensive here in the island.
Okay, I'm sure the locals will help me out on that one, all right? So
yeah,
that's kind of a bad don't to think about when you're coming here. Another don't I want you to know about coming to San Juan is you don't have to worry about your safety too much when you're here in Old San Juan. Now, I'm not going to say it's perfect, but I'm going to say is you're going to have a really easy time going around with your kids, or if you're a solo traveler. It's really nice and pretty safe here in Old San Juan, and that's really nice. But you do need to watch out maybe for a pickpocket or two sometimes down the old town, and if you're going to have a car in town, you're going to park, do make sure you lock it up, but otherwise it's pretty safe down here, which is super cool. Though I will say there are a couple of dangers when you are here. One, don't be silly when you're picking your shoes.
Okay, sorry, let me go back right there. I want to talk about the safety. Yes, Old San Juan is at night. The main areas of Old San Juan are pretty much safe. It's very rare that you get crime in Old San Juan or murders and stuff. It's really rare that you get mugged in Old San Juan. Just try to steer clear of La Perla, please, because La Perla may be a neighborhood in Old San Juan, but that neighborhood is not tourist friendly. It can be dangerous if you don't know the culture in it, if you don't belong to it. Stay clear of La Perla for your own safety. I'm not saying that they're bad, that everybody that lives there is bad. It's just you will see this as a Puerto Rico local. I can tell you can see different neighborhoods, and this happens in New York, this happens in Chicago. This happens even in Madrid. This happens everywhere in the world, right? You have good parts that are good neighborhoods, and you got bad neighborhoods. And well, La Perla is one of these neighborhoods that in Spanish we would call it está caliente, no? It's an insular place, and outsiders aren't welcomed a lot. There is even signs that says do not film here. For your own, if you don't have permission to film, don't film. Just so you know, just for your own protection. Also, there are other places in San Juan that you could go as a tourist. La Placita Santurce, La Placita Roosevelt. All these places. There's a lot of police presence in these areas. Just try to check what neighborhood you're going to go first, and ask any locals about set neighborhoods before you actually go, just for your own safety.
A couple dangers when you are here. One, don't be silly when you're picking your shoes when you're coming to San Juan. Look, you have cobblestones, you have cars that are close to the road, so maybe high heels, maybe your shoe choices could be important. So
I mean, I like that
pair of walking.
I like that he does that. Zoom in to the high heels. I don't know why anybody would wear high heels. You're going out walking. It's like going out to New Orleans or or any of these old, downtown areas, you're gonna be walking, and this is a colonial neighborhood. So like he said, you will have cobblestones. Try to go with tennis shoes or something comfortable. Particularly, also if you manage to find yourself in a protest, you will find a lot of protesting being done in Old San Juan, because in Old San Juan is where the governor's palace is. It's also nearby to the state assembly, or to the territorial assembly, for those that want to be more politically correct. You might find yourself having to run if it's a very controversial topic that they are being protesting, and police and all this could throw tear gas and stuff. So you don't have to worry about this in a general sense, but you should try to be as comfortable as possible. It only wear heels if you're going out to like a specific place, if you're going to be using it indoors. But if you're going out walking through the town, it's a good advice.
Shoes, because you're going to walk around, whether you're going to El Moro or you're going to go to San Cristobal Castle.
You're going to go to the castle.
Museums here, taking in the architecture. It's gorgeous, but you need good shoes. So don't be silly with your shoes, because you could trip and hurt yourself, and that is a safety thing. Another safety thing is that big ball of gas and fire in the sky, the sun. Don't forget to bring good sunblock, okay, when you're coming here. A hat as well to protect yourself, because even though you're not going to the beach when you're in San Juan, okay, don't think you can't go to the beach in San Juan, but honestly,
there are no beaches in San Juan. Well, although, okay, let me rephrase. There are beaches in San Juan. There aren't good beaches in or nearby Old San Juan. Old San Juan is up in an elevated area, in an island plateau, and you're gonna see that as you walk around through it. So, and it's mainly a port area, so there isn't a lot of beach area to go to in Old San Juan. But right next door, in Condado, in Ocean Park, in Isla Verde, all of that has beaches. That has good beaches that you can go to. And if you're staying at the hotels, it's basically in the backyard of the hotels. Any of the hotels in that area. So yes and no, I would say.
There's other parts of Puerto Rico you want to go visit for the beaches. This is more seeing culture and history. Yeah. But honestly, you'll still get burned. So don't forget that sunblock and the hat. Also, don't forget some bug spray, because there are bugs here that you might get bit. Liam got one right between the eyes last night, so he looks like he's a teenager fighting off a pimple instead of a little kid with a big, mosquito bite. So don't forget.
By the way, the mosquitoes here are really aggressive sometimes. So if you're not staying in a air conditioned room, make sure you have a bug net. Just saying.
The bug spray either. See, and another thing you can do to fight off that sun is also don't forget about the culture and the museums that are here in San Juan. There's a number of museums you can go visit. Yes, you can go see the castles like El.
So, just out of, I just wanted to interdict here. This flag, this black flag, is a protest flag. This is our official Puerto Rico flag, and this flag is the wrong flag. But this is supposed to symbolize the Lattice Revolt flag, or it's actually a nationalistic flag. But this one, if I'm not mistaken, it's the wrong one. It's the wrong one.
Or you can go to San Cristobal Castle,
because of where the star is. I wanted to see if it blew up. I think there's another scene where it looks better.
They're great. San Cristobal, you need more time. It's a lot bigger than El Moro. El Moro's a quick go through, but San Cristobal.
By the way, the reason why in El Morro you get to see 3 flags is because, of course, Puerto Rico and the United States. Puerto Rico, the United States is the sovereign. Puerto Rico is that's the state territory of flag, and then this flag here is the Spanish Navy flag from the old pre-1898 colonial times. So this would have been the flag that the Spanish authorities would have displayed for their, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's their navy. So
Cristobal needs some more time, but there's a museum, the Museum of Art of Puerto Rico, the Contemporary Art Museum that's here, the Museum of the Americas. I mean, there's...
Wait, he went, let me go back and listen to that.
Bigger than El Moro. El Moro's a quick go through, but San Cristobal needs some more time, but there's a museum, the Museum of Art of Puerto Rico, the Contemporary Art Museum that's here.
So he mentions the Museum of Art and the Museum of Contemporary Art. They are not in Old San Juan. So if you're going to come to Puerto Rico and go to those two museums, they're not in Old San Juan. They're in Santurce, which is a different neighborhood from Old San Juan. They are in La Avenida Ponce de Leon, like right, here's one, and then right down the avenue there's another one. So yeah, those two are not. El Museo de las Américas, the Museum of the Americas, is though, and it's in Valleja. It's in a building that's called El Cuartel de Valleja. Where it was an old military station. It was called Valleja. It's basically right to your right of this. Sorry, to the right of this picture right here, or this still. So it's basically in the biggest building that you can see to the left when you are coming down from El Morro. That building right there, which is a square building, that is Valleja. That's where the Museo de las Américas is.
The Museum of the Americas. I mean, there's a lot of really cool museums you can go check out to learn about the culture here, which is really important because then you get a lot more out of it than just going, wow, look at all the pretty painted buildings. And when I think of the pretty painted buildings, another don't I have for you is their La Perla neighborhood. And I would say don't go to La Perla neighborhood if you're a tourist. I know it looks cool with all the painted houses. You're like, oh, this would be great for the gram. It's not a neighborhood that tourists really should go to, so I want to give you a heads up for that. Now, another disappointment I have for you in terms of the don't is, I know when you think about Puerto Rico, one of the things that comes up are the bioluminescent bays. There's actually three of the 5 bioluminescent bays in the world are here in Puerto Rico. Unfortunately, none of them are near San Juan.
Wow. And I think he does write about it. The nearest one is 1 hour away. So it's a day trip. You can go there. I've been to it 3 times in my life, and last time that I went, they had actually developed the area quite well, where you go and rent out the kayaks. So you can go there. You can rent out a car, drive all the way to Fajardo. You can put it up in the GPS. You can put up, I think it's Cabezas de San Juan, or something like that. Don't remember right now particularly the name, but you can go to the GPS. It'll take you to the area where you can rent out the kayaks, and right next to that area there is new parkings that have been built by the municipality recently. It's really it's actually even cool because you can park and then you take a boardwalk all the way to the old area where there's pictures areas and stuff, and right there you don't even you can go online and you can do the reservations prior to like a day or two before. So, and there's like, if my memory is serving well, because I went there 2 years or 3 years ago, last time I went there. There's 3 different kayaking companies that you can book, so there is a lot of availability. And just make sure, though, if you're gonna go to Fajardo, at least to choose a night where there is not a full moon, because otherwise the experience is hampered because of the moon.
Okay, you got one in the northeast part of the country, you got one in the southeast part of the country, and you got one out on the island. So it's not going to be really feasible for.
Well, the island he mentions is Vieques, if I'm not mistaken. It's either Vieques or Culebra. And the other one is in Lajas, which is in the southwest part of Puerto Rico.
Your weekend visit to go out to them. If you got more time, definitely do it. But sadly, don't expect to see them.
You don't need to book your visit well in advance. You can book it with a few days in advance. I went on this trip and stayed in an Airbnb in Luquillo, and I booked it the day before, and I went with my friend the next day. So it well in advance, 24 hours, 48 hours is fine.
Bioluminescence bays when you're here in San Juan. Now, one thing though that you definitely don't have to worry about when you come to San Juan is don't miss out on the Puerto Rican food. Now, when you walk around, you'll see every single fast food joint you've ever seen, and there'll be cool locations. Like one of the cool squares right on the other side of the town hall has the prettiest outdoor Wendy's I've ever seen. And the Burger King down the way is gorgeous, but you're not going to eat that. Make sure you're eating the Puerto Rican food when you're here. Yes, have the mofongo. Yes, you will love that. Believe me, plantains in all their different forms, from tostones, tamorillas. There's so many great foods to have that are from Puerto Rico. Lechon or pernil, like pork. Oh my God, it's so good.
Oh my God,
You'll
yes.
eat so well when you're here.
You will probably get, if you get here and you just eat Puerto Rican food, you'll probably earn around 5 to 10 pounds just by eating Puerto Rican food only. So, well, that's a little bit. I'm exaggerating a little bit, like at most 5 pounds. So just make sure to walk around a lot so you can burn down those calories. But no joking aside, I would also, if you're in Old San Juan, I would also recommend any Italian food that you can get, particularly pizza. There's a few pizza places right there. Oh my goodness, those are really good pizza places. Yummy pizza. The pizza here is very different to the one you're gonna get in the States.
But make sure you go to a place that have Puerto Rican food so you can really get a great taste of the island, because you have, can you see me getting excited?
Yes.
I need to slow down. Because talking about Puerto Rican food makes me really happy. And when you're here, you have Puerto Rican food.
It makes me happy,
you will
don't
be
worry.
happy too,
It also
okay?
makes me happy,
Oh,
Walter.
and don't even get me started on the drinks, but I think that's another don't I have to have for you. Don't forget to go out and have cocktails when you're here in Old San Juan, because
I already mentioned this, but the cocktails here are very expensive.
there's a bunch of bars around here you can go to, and some will have, drink specials so you can save money that way. But the thing is, there's so many. I mean, this is the home of Bacardi, okay, in Puerto Rico. And yes, you can do a tour when you're near here, so don't forget about that. But there's so many great bars. We were at La Factoria last night having drinks and just the pina coladas, which is from Puerto Rico.
Yes, it is. Yes, it was invented here in the island. It was invented here in El Escambron Beach Club. So
Okay, you go to the Caribe Hilton, or there's another place that says it started from, but
El
you have so many great drinks,
Escambron Beach
you don't want to miss
Club.
out on that if you are here, because they're very much sit back, have a drink, and talk with a bartender kind of places, which is awesome. And I think that's another don't. Don't worry if your Spanish isn't fluent when you come to San Juan.
okay, so about this. This is I would say yes and no, depends. Depending on where you go in Puerto Rico, maybe not Old San Juan, but if you go to Puerto Rico, if you come to Puerto Rico, depending on where you go, I would recommend to try to talk, and he's gonna mention it in the next one, I think. Try to talk as much Spanish as you can, or try to learn, or try to. Don't expect local Puerto Ricans to talk to you in English. We might understand it. Many may not like to talk to you back in English for a lot of reasons. Some just don't feel comfortable talking English even though they understand it. Some, for nationalistic reasons, won't talk to you about it because English is the language of the colonizers and all that BS. So yeah, try. Don't worry, but try to talk Spanish. It makes a whole lot difference.
Because so many tourists come through here, and you know, this is U.S. territory. English is spoken pretty much everywhere around San Juan. You go to other parts of Puerto Rico, no, it's not as prevalent. But here, you don't have so much of a problem with it. But I will say this.
No, I am sorry. I'm sorry, Walter. But I gotta say, you will mix the rice and beans before it's served. It is much better. Just gotta say it. I know that the restaurants give it separately because not everybody likes it. You got to mix it, otherwise it's not rice and beans. It's not the Puerto Rican way to eat rice and beans.
Though I say don't worry about not speaking fluent Spanish, don't forget to at least try some Spanish. Even if it's just quisiera
this.
That. Quisiera means I would like. It will make a big difference. Your gracias and por favores go a long way. So at least don't forget to try some Spanish when you are here. Because one thing I got to tell you is don't ever be afraid to ask the locals here. People in San Juan and throughout Puerto Rico, they love their island, they love their towns, they love their cities, and they want to share their city with you. They want to share their culture with you. So they will tell you the restaurants to go to. They will tell you their favorite bar to go to. They'll tell you the better museum to go to. Coming with your kids, not sure which museum to go to, they'll probably say go to El Moro and go to San Cristobal Castle. Kids will get history from that and enjoy it. The museum.
Also, if you're bringing your kids to Old San Juan and you don't go kite flying, what are you doing? You gotta go kite flying in Old San Juan. It's in El Morro. It's like, yes, there is no ifs or buts. If you go to El Morro, you have to go kite flying, and if you go on a Sunday, you're gonna find it filled with kids and couples flying kites. So you gotta try it. If you go to Old San Juan and you're staying over the weekend, try it. Try kite flying. You're not gonna regret it.
Museums, they might get a little bored at. I'm like, oh, that's super, thanks, Talia, love you. Okay, and our fans from Puerto Rico have been amazing with sending us so many recommendations. I'm like, I wish I had time to go see all the things that you've recommended. But don't be afraid to ask, whether it's at your hotel, your Airbnb, or just when you're going around, it'll make a huge difference on your vacation here. Now, being a U.S. territory, one thing I think is important about coming to San Juan is you don't have to worry about the dollars.
You don't have to worry about the dollars. That is true. Also, if you're coming from Europe, there is Banco Popular does do exchanges with euros, so there is that. So you can also exchange your euros into dollars here locally.
Or the money, because they use U.S. dollars here, and ATMs are all over. Also, I've seen, most places took credit card. It was no big deal. Though I will say it's a good idea to have some dollars on you just to make some transactions faster. But overall, we haven't had any problem, especially in Old San Juan. You don't really have too many issues.
If you're planning on moving to Puerto Rico, you will also be using. A lot of businesses are now accepting an app that is similar to Venmo, but it's a local app. It's called ATH Móvil. So that is also another option for you. Venmo isn't very popular in the island. So unfortunately, up until my knowledge, ATH Móvil is only used for banks in Puerto Rico. So you have a Puerto Rican account, you can use it. Otherwise, I would recommend also the cash and the Visas or MasterCard. Pretty much any credit card.
Just paying with credit card, but do have U.S. dollars when you are here. Now, another thing I think
that's what I was meaning. This flag is the wrong flag, the wrong lattice flag. If you go to my Instagram, you can look at the correct and original flag, but this one. That blue is not correct one. It's not the correct. It's not the correct blue.
I forgot to mention the safety part, but I do want you to know is don't drive around San Juan. I mean, the traffic is crazy. Oh,
come on, Walter. The traffic in Old San Juan may be bad, but if you get out of Old San Juan, driving isn't as horrible as he makes it out to be. driving around, if you know, there's always, it's like any other metropolitan region in the United States. There is a rush hour, so depending on the time of the day, you're gonna get a lot of traffic. So in very early in the morning, before I would say 9 o'clock, you're going to get traffic because of people trying to get to their jobs, particularly in Old San Juan. People forget Old San Juan is the government seat, so a lot of government employees work in Old San Juan, particularly in Hacienda, particularly in, you know, the governor's mansion, the Department of State. What else is there? The municipality also has offices there. The municipal legislature is also in Old San Juan. You also got the employees of the state assembly. So you have a lot of aside from the hotels and in the bars and employees that come to work there. There is a lot of economic activity going on. So you will get rush hour. You will get people leaving at around 5 to 7 o'clock. That is also rush hour. People leaving their jobs and just going back. A lot of people don't work in San Juan, but they don't live in San Juan. They live either in Guaynabo, Carolina, Bayamón, Dorado, Toa Baja, Toa Alta, Caguas, Rio Grande, Canóvanas. So all of these people that work in or maybe live Trillo Alto, Carolina. So they may live in the metro area or the suburbs a little bit farther away, but they commute with car. And the thing is, Puerto Rico is car culture centric, so you have to get a car. There is no way around. If you're gonna come to Puerto Rico and just stay in Old San Juan, you won't need a car. You can just walk anywhere because San Juan, the old city, is a walkable city. But getting out of Old San Juan and going to El Yunque or going going to any beach, any of the beaches, or going just any other place, Plaza Las Americas, Mall of San Juan, any other place, you need a car. You need to rent a car, or you need an Uber. You need to Uber somewhere. So be mindful of this. You do need a car to move around anywhere. Uber is available, but it's mainly metro-centric. Also, you have some cabs, but cabs are more expensive than Uber, and for the most part. And this is just my opinion. My recommendation: rent out a car if you're not gonna stay the entire trip in Old San Juan. Otherwise, you will need a car to move around.
Funky is crazy. The music is crazy, but the driving signals optional. People pass.
See, in this clip that he shows, traffic is moving normal. Traffic is flowing, and yes, we may not put our blinkers on, but Puerto Rican natives drive. If you can drive in Puerto Rico, you can drive anywhere. Okay. Yes, we are the way that we drive here. You know who's a local and who's not, because you can do it basically, at least in the road, mainly by the way that we drive. But yeah, it's not as horrible as he makes it sound.
In front of you, it's just the way it is. Don't drive if you don't have to. There are taxis, there's rideshare programs here, so you're fine doing that. Actually, what we've done is we've rented a car for Puerto Rico, but we actually took a taxi in from the airport to
see these clips that he's showing. That's normal. That's little light traffic. I drive in that every day.
To the old town, and then we talked to that taxi. We got his number. He's coming to pick us up in a couple of days to take us back to get our rental car at the airport, so we don't have to deal with the driving here. And it is worth it to save the headaches. Okay, so try not to drive where you are in San Juan. Just use the rental car to go explore more of the island.
So something that we need to make sure people understand: When he means San Juan, he means the old city, old San Juan. Because San Juan, when you talk about the city of San Juan, it's pretty big. You know, you have what is San Juan is Old San Juan, Puerta de Tierra, Santurce, Cantera, Atorrey, Monacillo, Cupey Alto, Cupey Bajo, what else? Rio Piedras. So the city of San Juan as a whole, Puerto Nuevo, I forgot Puerto Nuevo. So the city of San Juan as a whole is big, and you do need to be able to move around. Unfortunately, collective transport isn't as good. You can use if you know how to use them. You can use buses. There is a bus terminal in Old San Juan that you can take, and then you can take the bus all the way to the train, to El Tren Urbano, which is our one-line subway that can take you from Santurce all the way to Bayamón. So there is ways to move around without the car, but it's very limited. The best thing that you can do, if again you're not staying in Old San Juan your entire trip, is to actually take the rent out a car, take out a rental.
Maybe not San Juan. Now, another thing I think I should mention is don't forget to check the operating hours of restaurants or bars you do want to visit, because there's so many good bars and restaurants here. I mean, if you don't eat well here, that's on you, not on the city, okay? But I think it's important you look and see their operating hours, because some will close relatively early. Like we've seen restaurants that close at 6 or 7 o'clock. Some close at 9 or 10. And so you want to make sure you see is when are they open? When are the restaurants open for me to go to enjoy? Some places they were open up at 3:30. Some were open all day. It's really important to check. But also, if you're going to go to places that are bars and restaurants, you might notice that the restaurant part might not work all day, but the bar will. So that's something you might drink your calories for the day.
Also, when was this filmed? Let me check. When was this filmed? This was filmed a year ago. Okay, so this is a year-old video. Recently, the municipality of San Juan updated their laws, and if I have this wrong, please leave it in the comments. But bars are supposed to close at 1 o'clock from 1 o'clock a.m. from Monday to Thursday, or Mondays to Wednesdays, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday they are allowed to open all the way to 2 o'clock in the morning. After that, they need to close. I know that there's some exceptions, like bars inside hotels and stuff, but bars, normal regular bars in Old San Juan and throughout the city, they must close between 1 o'clock in the morning and 2 o'clock in the morning, depending on the days. And yes, there are bars and restaurants and things to see and do outside of Old San Juan. People that come to Puerto Rico, they only focus on Old San Juan. Try to explore San Juan. San Juan is a very big city.
Which isn't bad here. Now, another thing I need to prepare you for is maybe you're on a cruise and you're coming here, or maybe you're going to be here when cruise ships come in. And I would say is don't freak out on excursion day, because when those cruise ships come, you can tell when all the tourists are coming through to see all the great sights that you're trying to see as well. When that happens, just have patience. you're spending the night here, you're staying here. So most of the cruise people are gone by the evening. So you get the city to yourself, which is really, really great. But just be ready for that onslaught of people coming off the tour boats, or off the cruise ships, I should say. And if you are going to stay here, you're going to stay in San Juan. Another don't.
So if before he goes to his next don't, if you're staying in Old San Juan during cruise day, during tour day for the cruises, I would just recommend get out of Old San Juan. Go out to Plaza Las Americas. Go out to the Mall of San Juan. Go out to Condado. Go out to La Placita de Santurce. Where else? You can go to Guaynabo, Bayamón. There are a lot of other places inside the metro area. For example, Bayamón recently opened El Parque de las Ciencias. If I'm not mistaken, it's open. El Parque de las Ciencias is an amusement park with science, and it's good for kids. There used to be a zoo there also. So again, a lot of other places to go see. There's also the botanical gardens of from the UPR Rio Piedras. Well, they're not from the UPR Rio Piedras, but they are in the metro area. They're actually UPR Maya West, but who cares, right? Who cares? I do. But like he said, there's other museums outside of the Old San Juan. There's also a sports museum in Guaynabo. There's also a music museum. There's also an old car museum in Guaynabo. So again, a lot of other places to see other than Old San Juan where cruise ships tourists don't go to. Also, there's also the Distrito T-Mobile that has a lot of different activities that you can also do while you're waiting for the cruise ships to leave.
I have for you is don't wait to book your accommodation. This is a super popular tourist destination, especially on weekends, from people coming from all over the US. So do book ahead. Otherwise, you might be out of luck, or you might be staying in neighborhoods you might not want to. So make sure you're doing that early.
I would suggest book, if you want to stay in Old San Juan, book your Airbnb or your hotel 3 to 4 months in advance. Maybe even 6.
And also, if you're from the U.S., don't forget, if you're flying in from the U.S. and you're an American citizen, you don't have to have a passport to come here. This is a U.S. territory, so you can use your driver's license to...
Yes and no. Now you do need the new real ID in your license to fly. So if you don't have the real ID, you do need to fly with a passport. And that is irrespective of your Puerto Rico or you're in a state. That is new federal laws. So I think when he was recording this, it hadn't gone through, but now you do. You do have to have your license card. It must say real ID. Otherwise, you do need your U.S. passport, but you don't need a visa, which is you don't need an entry visa if you're a U.S. citizen.
Fly in, which is really cool. Another thing I think is important to mention is if you're going to be staying at an Airbnb or a rental or something, you need to know is the pipes here aren't always fantastic when it comes to the plumbing. So one thing I would say to you is don't throw anything extra down the toilet. Keep it to the stuff that comes out of you and toilet paper, and make sure you're courtesy flushing a few times because the pipes might not be able to handle it, and you don't want to make that phone call to your renter or your rental agency or your Airbnb host saying, yeah, the toilet's blocked up. So
do keep in mind, Old San Juan is 400 years old. And yes, the pipes and the infrastructure has been improved. But take that into consideration.
So just be aware of that. And one thing that I learned when I was at the airport is don't think you have to, drive yourself to other parts of the island. If you come in and you get in the taxi stand at the airport, they actually have standard fees to go to all different places all over the island. So if you want to go down to Ponce or you want to go to Rincon, there's drivers that will take you from the airport there. No, it's not cheap. It could cost you 100, 127, 150 bucks, whatever, to go to farther parts of the island, but it's an option out there. So if you don't want to rent a car, you're like, look, I just want to go to Rincon and surf and hang out with my friends that live there. Well, you can get a driver that'll take you there and a driver that'll bring you.
Or instead of investing 100 or something more dollars, you could fly to Aguadilla, or you can fly to Ponce from, I think, New York or Orlando or Miami. And yeah, you can, it's cheaper in terms of getting that driver to take you, the taxi at least. But it's really cheaper to just do the rental. I think Walter has something against renting cars. Just gonna mention it.
Back. So that is something I think might help people that are scared to drive here. But I mean, don't do too.
Walter, are you scared of driving in Puerto Rico? Is there is there a story I'm missing?
Too scared. It's just, hectic city driving most of the time when you're here. But just know that for an
Or is it that you're just scared of hectic city driver? Walter, I really do enjoy your content. Just saying, I'm just throwing out a few jokes here and there.
Option. The thing is, I know I've been focusing mostly out here on Old San Juan, talking about these stones, but honestly, I gotta say is, don't just stay in Old San Juan. If you have the time, there's tours you can do that'll take you farther afield, or you can go to other parts of the city. I mean, for me, some of the good tours you can do is you can go to El Yunque National Forest. You go do hikes out.
How about this? Instead of going to El Yunque, go to, and write this down, Charco Sol en Patillas, Charco Sol en Vega Baja. What's in Vega Baja? Anyways. Cueva Ventana, la Cueva del Indio en Arecibo, the Christopher Columbus statues in Arecibo, La Posada de las Mujeres Beach. There's also La Piedra del Toro. I think it's called. I think that's how it's called in Dorado. Like I said, el Parque de las Ciencias. It's in Bayamón. Charco Prieto. There's also Ponce. The entire city of Ponce is a good place to go to. Any municipality outside of the metro area where you can go to their main to their downtown, they all have like good restaurants and good places to see. Bayamón has a great downtown area that you can go to. It's really nice. Also Guaynabo. Cataño, which is, you can even take a ferry from Old San Juan to Cataño on the other side of the bay, and it also has good restaurants and good areas to go visit. So yeah, try to exit Old San Juan. There's a lot to see outside of just the old city.
Out there, there's cave systems you can go visit. There are further options and closer day trips you can do from here, and especially the beaches. I would do a day trip to some of the beaches versus a city beach, but you'll have fun at the beach anywhere you go in Puerto Rico.
Yes,
anyway, I hope this helps you get ready for San Juan. I hope you enjoy it. I know we have, from the food, the fun, to the people. We've loved it, and I'll say bye from here in San Juan.
Well, that was Wolters World, the don'ts of San
Travelers.
Juan. Sorry. The don'ts of San Juan, Puerto Rico. Like I said, just if you want to see more of his content, go to Wolters World in YouTube. Check him out. And yeah, if you're coming over from Wolters World, hi. Because I will be pinning this also in his video so that he knows that I am reacting. And I will also be letting him know in his social media that I am reacting to his videos. So hi everybody who is new, and remember, subscribe to this YouTube, but especially if you're a Spanish speaker and you understand Spanish and you want to learn more about Puerto Rican history, check out my podcast in Spotify, Historiando PR. We're going to every Tuesday at 10 o'clock. We have, or mostly all Tuesdays at 10 o'clock, we will be having new episodes. So come aboard and let's learn about history together. One day at a time. See ya.